Hello there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal and this is Books for Forever After. So it's been a little while since I've posted my first two videos. It's been about a month. August was a crazy busy month. However, I did, so I just figured I would, today is like what, Wednesday, September 7th? So yeah, today we're going to record my August wrap up and try to get my TBR in as well. So that's going to be interesting. So we have, oh gosh, what did I do in August? So I read 10 books in August. The only ones I did not reach my TBR were 2 books, and that was before the fall. Let me double check. Before the fall, I think that was the third one for the, let me go to my cheat sheet note here. I cannot remember any. Hero at the Fall, not Before the Fall. So that is the young adult fantasy by Alwyn Hamilton. So that's the third and final in the series. So I'm gonna hopefully push that off till this month for September. And then the other one I did not get to was Devil in Spring, I want to say. So it's a Lisa Kleypas novel. Wow, I cannot speak today. I just can't. As you can tell, I'm definitely not. Scandal in Spring. Wow, Scandal in Spring. I swear I fucking better at this, I swear. So anyway, I read 10 books. So it was a fun month. It was actually really exciting because I was able to read 2 arcs. In the month, I was able to read 4 physical books and about 4 ebooks, and then 1 audiobook. And so we'll go over there. So let's go through what I read. So to start off with, I read Kingdom of Ash. Finally finished this. This one took me 2 months to finish. The final season, 7th or 8th book in the series, if you include the prequel. So 5 stars, rated 5 stars. Obviously Sarah Maas. It was a really good series. It was really, I think the Throne of Glass series is definitely more high fantasy with a romance subplot. And I first read ACOTAR last year, and that was my first experience with Sarah J. Maas, and I have to say that's still my favorite. My favorite books by her is the ACOTAR series. I have not read the Crescent City series yet, so that's coming my one following this. I might start Crescent City sometime later this winter, like November, December, or I might just wait for January to try to catch up on those. Just can't take a break. That was a big boy right there. 980 pages, I want to say, so almost 1,000-page book. So yeah, no, that's acknowledgements. Yeah, 980 pages. So yeah, great book. Loved it. I love the ending. The resolution was just satisfying. You always think that Sarah J. Maas she kind of deviates from what you expect, but then she still gives you what you want at the end. At least some sort of satisfaction at the end. So, which I love. Next, I read on Kindle Unlimited called Pageant by Lilith Vincent, and this was part of, I think, the Smut Club. I'll put the 2 booktubers that host these book club. I want to say it's Oh Hey It's McKay, but I just can never remember. I think it's That Tall Book Girl. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I'll post that down below. I think my original star rating for this one is 4 stars, but I think I'm actually gonna go deviate down to like a 3, because like thinking back on the book, it was entertaining, basically. Smut Club. So basically the Pageant it's a dark romance of mafia, the Russian mafia, so the Bratva mafia, and the heroine is a widow. She was married to a mafia leader, kind of boss, and then the first love interest was part of one of the underlings, so to speak, and they kind of sort of fell in love in that way a little bit of angst there. Basically, he thinks she betrayed him for some sort of way when her husband is killed. And then, as you know, this is a reverse harem, so there's 2 other guys. And so basically what happens is she finds herself getting kidnapped by the second hero. I say hero very lightly. And with their buddy is like the leader. So they're basically giving up a pageant for 16 other women to be his wife, kind of a thing. So it's like a pageant. It's very dark. There's a lot of trigger warnings, and I think that's part of it. Like, there's some pedophilia here, but I think which is basically someone gets turned on by you falling asleep. So that was interesting. So yeah, lots of non-consent violence. Some very, I want to say, yeah, this is just a trigger warning. It was just a little weird. And part of it, I think part of it would turn me off also is just the fact that it was entertaining while reading it. But some stuff you're just thinking about, like, that's just kind of, it still made it weird. I don't know how else to explain it. But there was like a Russian roulette type scene, but you know, that kind of a thing with the gun and her. So so I think this is a part of it. So it was entertaining in that respect. It was just like potato chips. It was good in the moment, but definitely not something I'm gonna read again. Because of that, it ends kind of like on a cliffhanger. So I like had to pick up the second one. So it's a duet, so it's a crowned one. I think the duet is named Pageant. Basically, it's a pageant series, pageant duet. So that one, you know, it has one of my lesser favorite tropes in that one. So it's just messed up. I mean, it's dark romance, but it's a little bit like hard to believe, so to speak. So suspend your disbelief extremely. If you don't really like really dark romance, like this pushes the envelope, I think, you just don't read this one. And then I kind of deviated from my TBR because I got an ARC. I recently just I'm being very picky because I want to read books that I want to read, and not just because it's a free ebook or ARC to read in advance. So ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copy. So this is on NetGalley. So I wanted to, this was actually free to read now. So for NetGalley you have to like request it. And depending on your status on, you know, if you're a booktuber, bookstagrammer and that kind of a thing. And also you kind of build up your as much as you read and then post your review, your honest review there. So this one was actually free to review. I saw it on Kennedy Ryan's Instagram. I also saw a lot of the other booktubers that I follow as well on their Instagram. And it was her new release. It's going to be released in November 15th. And it's called Before I Let Go. This is a second chance romance, divorced couple, single parent. There is trigger warnings for grief and thoughts of suicide as well, but it was just, it's one of those that's almost like, it's not like your typical rom-com or even that you see the contemporary romance. For me, it felt like more of like a drama. So you had, but with steam. So there was drama and yet it was still steamy. So it like made it very, I think, evened out that way. I had to say though, it felt very real because the characters are very, they're very believable and real people in these situations and how they're dealing with their trauma, their grief, and how they're dealing with their relationship and trying to manage, you know, 2 kids and rekindle their feelings. I don't know, it's just, you can, it felt very believable, and I have to say, like, I don't really cry for books at all. I don't, but reading what kind of made me a little teary-eyed was actually reading the author's note at the end, and it made sense because it tied in that Kennedy Ryan talked about her own grief, So there is like loss of a loved one in here, and speaking about her grief, that was very similar to this situation, to the female character situation. Just 5 stars. I don't think I said that, but it was just 5 stars. It was very well written. This is my first book that I read by Kennedy Ryan, and she is a BIPOC author as well, and this is just didn't need more like this. This was really interesting to read, very emotional, and just made you like think about it even after a couple of days. So even after a couple of days after reading it, I was still thinking about it. So highly recommend that you read that book. It's really good. Next I read Caraball. This was also on my TBR for August. This is like a young adult fantasy. I think it's very popular, as you can tell. Really, this book, it kind of is marketed as like a young adult fantasy / romance, but the majority of what I've read about this, this was 4 stars, by the way. The majority of what this book was about the relationship between 2 sisters. Yes, about love, but I think it's really about their relationship the most time. I really liked, it had like a scavenger hunt feel. It basically was like the scavenger hunt in this book is that she had to go to, you know, save her sister in the scavenger hunt type thing, in Caraball. So it was very good. And you kind of maybe like, is this the Grandmaster person or is this not? And so it kind of, it was very, almost not Hunger Games, but it was very weird. It was very strange, but it was still strange, but in a good way. So it's very, but yeah, so the scavenger hunt was good. It's just like a really true test of character, and testing the characters, their growth and who they are, and what's really important to her. I think what this taught anymore, that it is okay to be selfish a little bit, but like, we know you care about your sister, but it's also kind of teaching that lesson for her to also care about herself. So yeah, I horribly sorry, but I can't remember the characters' names. I'll have to write them down on my notebooks, but I can't remember the character's name. I want to say her name is Scarlet, the main character. Is it the main character, Scarlet? Yeah, Scarlet. I was right. Scarlet, and Tulla is her sister. Tulla's got kidnapped, so kidnapped. So I don't want to spoil it too much, but yeah, so that was really good. I'm gonna read the second one, I think, for September, so that'll be Legendary. So there's 3, it's a trilogy, so look, and I think it's more on the sister story side, I think, so be interesting to see or to read. Alright, and then the next book I read was an ebook. It was also an ARC. I was able to, a lot of exciting things this August. I was able to apply for an ARC review team for Sarah Kate, and she had openings, and it was for her new book, Mercy, coming out. It came out August 25th, so I got able, found out, a week or so before that, a couple weeks before that I was able to join, and then I got the ARC before, like a week before to read. 7 to 10 days, I can't remember, because it's not really important. However, 5 stars. I've discovered Sarah Kate earlier this year, and especially her Salacious Players Club series, which this is part of. So this is number 4 in Salacious Players Club, and it's a reversed age gap, romance, BDSM. There's also best friends, or how to say, reverse age gap, dom sub. It is also dad's best friend / worker, colleague, kind of not worker, colleague trope. So it was really, really good. I have to say this was the first time I ever gotten or read a book that had where the female was the dominant one. Especially in the BDSM, it's always a typical millionaire male, older male. That's kind of 50 Shades kind of genre. But it was really good, very educational as well, because there were things here I never heard about. But I think what was really interesting was the character growth, because the male character, you see him in the very first book of Praise. He was the ex-boyfriend of the heroine in that one, and he kind of did her dirty, so he was really crappy for that. His dad was the male character in Praise as well. So it just goes to show you how good Sarah Kate's writing is to get me to love a character that I hated, absolutely hated before. His growth, development was so great, and just you could, his desire and his respect and like almost worship of the main character. Why can't I remember names? This is like, you make me read a character. Maggie, that's her name. Maggie. Yeah, you can, I posted my more review on Goodreads, but basically you can feel the adoration, respect, and desire for Maggie. And what's really interesting is that they kind of met on the app that they developed in book 1. So that was really cool to see that they both developed and figured out their kinks. That's the whole point of this, sex club that they own. This Laceys Players Club is like a sex club, kink club, where people discover their kinks, and with no judgment zone and that kind of thing, which is really cool. And it's very educational on how to do it like safely. But they first developed the app before the sex club was, initiated. So it's really cool to see them meet on the app and discover each other on the app and find, they are, they know each other. So yeah, it was very interesting. I like how Maggie calls out, a little spoiler here, but calls out his, not Garrett, the dad's name. Wow, I'm really bad at names today. Kind of calls that out there. The other part of this was I really liked Maggie's journey as well, because she kind of is battling what typical modern women that we struggle with day in and day out is that whole, I want to say, struggling with being a dominant woman, because society is teaching you to that, with the purity culture and teaching you that you have to be submissive and that kind of thing. So it's really interesting to see basically the exact duel of the male character in a female form from the book 1, and see her growth and her struggle with that, and see her like own that. She's typically a very nerdy person. Typically she was, library-esque kind of character, which I think all of us book readers can kind of relate to. So it was really really cool to see her go through that journey on feeling, no, like I am a badass kind of a thing, but this kind of still keep to see her grow that confidence but still maintain who she is. That means she doesn't have to change everything about who she is to be more free, to let herself be who she is. So yeah, it was really great. Another really exciting thing is now there are going to be 2 more. We were told it's going to be, the last final one, and which is so cool, and so congrats to the author that she got her book picked up. So you'll be seeing that, I think, in bookstores as well. So I don't recall when the new books are coming. I think October maybe of this year, and maybe April and October next year, I believe, actually. The 2 ones are going to be released. I think it's going to be with the big billionaire guy that bids, but I think the first one is going to be the one that, I may be wrong, is the one that kind of teaches all the teacher. She is the main character, one of the characters, the side characters that kind of teaches everybody about the kings. So she's like the leader, so to speak, and unofficial leader. So it kind of is an example, like a role model for everybody. So it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully I can look forward to reading those 2 books that come out. So that was just really exciting. The only thing that's really bummer is like I have the ebook of the first one that I got on Kindle for free, so I'll be able to buy it for free. But I really want to get the physical copies, and they're going to, with the Praise, I think is only with the people covers. They're going to be transitioning to a discrete covers, and at the end of October, like, there's not going to be any more of the Braves once they go out. So they are going to release the people covers and the new 2 ones, just so people can have a matching book set. But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, do I just wait for the discrete covers? It's fine, or do I just try to splurge and get the physical book? But we'll see. But yeah, definitely Sarah Kate was a newly discovered author, and loved her books. So looking forward to reading more. I think I've read a couple other ones too as well. I've been trying to read her backlist a little bit. But yeah, so we got Mercy. Okay, so next after that, I read The Winter's Curse. This was on my TBR for August. This is also another young adult fantasy. I don't know if maybe I'm just getting too old, but these are kind of reading young. Not too young, but I forget there's one series that I've loved and I always love, that's always very entertaining. But I don't know, this one, I think it's because it's the second person, like in the second person, that it kind of throws me off. But I kind of typically like it in like a first person, or if I like the character, the main character, then it kind of like, I like the book more, so to speak. So this one's Winter's Curse. This actually deals with like it's kind of like almost historical fiction, almost. The Winter's Curse, she basically bids, there's slavery in here, and so she bids on a slave, and that's what they call about the Winter's Curse, when you pay more, on something. I'm horribly making this wrong. But there's like I forget what it's called, like the Winter's Curse. Actually, let me read. No, I can't remember. Oh, let me see. I'm so horrible at this. Either way, the Winter's Curse. Like, the winter kind of regrets they paid more for something than needed to be, or something like that. Like, it's more cost after, what we paid for it. Whichever. And Crystal, get on with it. Okay. So, it was very political. I wanted to say, a lot of the things, I feel like it was just kind of brushed over. Like, some of this, I'm like, that's kind of extreme, especially this one ball scene at the end of it. That kind of happens because there is a rebellion. There's rebellion. There's duels. There's ballroom dances. Very political, rumors, gossip, that kind of a thing. The main character kind of focuses on the slave man she bought, and the main character, she's a daughter of a general. It kind of focuses on their relationship, and kind of see him getting more privileges as a slave and whatever in that capacity, and you see there's something else kind of like going under, besides the surface level kind of things that are happening. But the thing that it's just the one thing that was like, it's very deep topic, but some things are kind of, maybe it was just the emotional grasp of it, but it was like kind of taken like, wow, that's kind of like some dark stuff, like Hunger Games dark stuff, and it's kind of weird how it's felt very, what's the word I want to use, like desensitized almost. It felt very, very, the way the word for the writing puts it kind of glossed over that way. But I'm like, wow, that's really like dang. I had to say the characters, the whole, obviously it's a fantasy romance because they kind of all love kind of a thing. There's 3 books, so there's more to it. Kind of drops off as a kind of cliffhanger almost situation, but it didn't seem as believable as much. It didn't, I think that's because what I was talking about before is the person in which it's being discussed. So like the first person versus second person. Sometimes it's handled very well. Like in Sarah J. Maas's book, in one of the Akatar series, it goes to second person, and so it's from the last. But I don't know, it's just something it felt surface level. And that's the topic there. So yeah, this one was a 4-star. So Mercy, obviously, previously one was a 5-star. This one was a 4-star. So I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. But I will be continuing on the second one for September. Alright, next one, I'll put a little thing up here. I got this one from my library. It was a ebook of A Whisper of Roses. I got this through Overdrive app, actually, I believe. This was part of the historical Hellions book club with, I'll put them on the down below because I am totally blanking. It'd be Peace Love Books and Samantha. I can't remember her tagline, but I'll put it on her book channel name down below. This one was a 3-star. This one was by Teresa Medeiros. It's a Highland Scottish romance about 2 warring clans. The writing was beautiful. It was good. The conflict was believable. It was kind of a little bit bonkers, a little bit on some of the bonkers plot. Very dramatic, as like usually Highland romances are. Very good. I would read more from this author sometime in the future. But this one, it just wasn't my favorite, and maybe I was spoiled by Julie Garwood when I'm younger, but it was just okay for me. I think a lot of it was the extremism of the male character, and the female character and the dramatics of that. But yeah, just kind of the drama and the absolute conflict between the clans was just kind of weird. There's a little bit of like a suspense element as well to it. But yeah, so basically this is between I try to remember, I am horrible with this. So Morgan McDonald is from McDonald clan. He becomes the clan leader there. And then Sabrina Cameron is from the Cameron group as well. So McDonald clan, they're a little very rough around the edges. They're really struggling, don't have much money, that kind of thing. Well, their men are starving, that kind of thing. And then they go to like a dinner they're invited to the dinner to Cameron's house. She actually grew up with Morgan as a child. He was kind of raised there during the summer to, I guess, basically grow up. It was very confusing. But yeah, so, and basically his dad dies, Morgan's father is murdered while at this event, so in all good faith, dad kind of marries off Sabrina to him. So it's their love story. So yeah, 3 stars. Don't think I would read that book again, but I would won't completely write out the author. I will I think read something else by her. Next, I got the message. I had this on hold for a while. This was the graphic audio to A Court of Thorns and Roses. As I mentioned, I read the books last year, and I kind of did a dual reading with the original, like audiobook, that's on Audible. So this is the graphic audio. So this is like a full cast and characters and sound effects, and literally like the tagline is a movie in your mind, and this was just really good. So because it's such a big production, they're split up into like 2 parts. So this one, Court of Thorns Roses, I read part 1 of 2, and it was fantastic. Made me even love the characters more. It was for me, and why I say this is because for me, reading, listening to audiobooks, reading audiobooks is harder for me because I get distracted. I've discovered I had to have it a little bit faster pace. I do about 1.25 speed or 1.20 speed, and sometimes I find myself just drifting off and not concentrating and so forth. So I was able to actually listen to it because it was so involved with the sound effects and that thing. It was more entertaining to listen to without having to do something as well. So you know, usually try and listen to audiobooks while at work or on your commute. For me, I can't really do it at work because it's kind of, I need something that's mindless, because a lot of my work is focus work. So, but yeah, all of that rambling. But yeah, this was just I think that's, if they can make more graphic audiobooks and get to read books that way, or listen to audiobooks, that's pretty awesome. So it was such a good book, such a good way to read it. ACOTAR series is just like my favorite so far. I guess you could say. It's very basic. I think that's like one of those very hyped up books, but I think it totally is worth the hype, in my opinion. And then lastly, I read Devil in Winter by Elisa Clavis. This was a reread. This is number 3 in the Wallflowers series. I have to say, so far, a lot of this I didn't realize if I did read it, because I read it like 10 years ago. It was just so good. I don't know if this was my absolute favorite. I have to say the first one, the one that's not even the official 01, which is the, oh gosh, what is it? Yeah, again the Magic. Let me read this one. So again, the Magic still, I think, is my favorite one out of the series so far. I intended to get to this one and Devil in Spring. I think I said that at the beginning of this video and I totally forgot. Scandal in Spring. I did it again. Scandal in Spring. I'm gonna try to push that one off along with The Hero at the Fall to this month as well. But it's gonna be very interesting because I have a lot of other books to read this month as well, so that I want to read. But yeah, very good. He is basically the anti-hero because he was the villain, so to speak, in the previous book because he kidnapped Daisy? I think Daisy's the second one. I think the sister in the next one, Evie. Yeah, between Sebastian and Evie. Evie is the friend that has a stutter and is more the quiet, reserved, and you learn more about her in this book and all her additional real struggles that she has with her family, and how not great they are. So definitely can feel the passion in this book. It was really good. But I know this is a lot of people's favorite, but just wasn't my favorite. And I think I do remember this book being really good 10 years ago. But reading it again, I don't know if it's my favorite. As I said, I think again the Magic is that book I always catch myself thinking about. Like I even had to, like when I picked up reading again, I'm like, what was that book? I was like, Elisa Clavis, I want to read it again. I had this cover, so I found it and read it again. So like the fact that it was still in my mind, I couldn't think of the title, but I found it. That stuck with me, over 10 years. I think really said something. So that's why this is my favorite. So, but yeah, still Wallflower series. Elisa Clavis, one of the GOTs. I can't speak. I'm sorry if you're still watching this. Bless you. Because I can't speak. Well, anyway, that is my August wrap up. I might have to do these weekly, to be honest, so I can remember everything. I'm so sorry. And I might have to keep better notes. But yeah, so those were what I read in August. I read 10 books. Next I will be posting my September TBR, which is, already 7 days in September, so a little behind, but we'll get there. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Bye.